The book Atomic Habits uses the habit loop as a core concept to establish sustainable change. It develops 4 basic laws or rules to achieve sustainable change and habits. If you want to understand how to do it, just hang on. Hello, welcome to Nuggets for Life. My name is Peter Müller and I have created this video series to share with you some ideas and concepts that can change your life. Let's get on with it. 30 years ago, Stephen Covey wrote the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it is still the most successful book about habits. It sold over 40 million copies. In 2018, Atomic Habits was first published, and until now it sold 25 million copies. At the core of the book is the so-called habit loop, a 4-step process dealing with human habits. There is number 1, the trigger, number 2, the motivation, number 3, the action, and number 4, the satisfaction. And one of the ideas is that long-term goals are only achieved through tiny, consistent actions which compound over time and then producing remarkable results. It is the systems and processes which are the underlying foundation of the achievement of long-term goals. And long-term goals should be identity-based. Meaning, we have a future goal which is in line with our future identity, and then we have habits, consistent actions achieving that long-term goal. So, the goal is the end point, and the systems and processes are the repeatable steps leading towards it. And one of the key ideas in the book is that you don't rise to the level of the goals, you rather fall to the levels of your systems. Let's explain me this way. If you are a 300-pound person and you want to be a 200-pound person, you can make a diet and go from 300 to 200. You achieve the goal. However, if the way going from 300 to 200 is not a well-established, sustainable process, you will fall back to the 300 because you have not established a repeatable process maintaining the 200-pound person, so to speak. In other words, you fall back to your old level because you have not changed the underlying processes for sustaining a 200-person body. So, in order to establish long-term sustainable change for the habits, there are 4 fundamental laws we have to think about. The number 1 key factor is the new habit. We have to make it obvious or visible for good habits and invisible for bad habits. In other words, we have to either show triggers or we have to eliminate triggers. For example, a bad habit, if it starts with a trigger, the concept out of sight, out of mind comes to mind. So, if you tend to eat cookies and ultimately gain weight by it, one way is get rid of cookies in the household and don't watch TV commercials about cookies. On the other hand, if you want to establish a new habit, a trigger could be having fruits and vegetables always visible. So whenever you feel hungry or you want a sweet snack, you go to a fruit, an apple, or a pear. So the trigger essentially are the point either to start or not to start a habit, which is step 1 of the habit loop. The second law for the habit loop is make a habit attractive or unattractive. Obviously, good habits, you should make them attractive, and bad habits unattractive. So one of the things to make something attractive is, for example, to bundle activities. If you have to do cardio, but cardio is not too attractive to you, but if on the other hand, you like to watch some Netflix clips, combine the two. So while exercising, watching your video. I do this every Tuesday. I watch my German version of CSI from Soko Köln while doing my cardio. So for Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have my German CSI 45 minutes. Basically a time-wasting habit, combined it with a good habit of the cardio. The second is adjusting your social environment and community to the habit. So go to the gym and meet with like-minded people while exercising, then it becomes fun. The third is reframing the activity, making positive or negative associations with a certain habits. So whenever I do weightlifting or cardio, I'm associating with it, Peter, you want to look good, feel good. And then suddenly it's not a drag. Peter is looking in the future. He is looking good and feeling good. So much about law number 2, making it attractive and unattractive. The third law deals with step 3, the action in the habit loop. It is basically making it easy or difficult to start. The biggest problem with habits is people very often don't start. So if you say, for example, every morning you start a routine, I want to make 50 push-ups every morning. People don't start the first day because they know they cannot do 50. So if you say, I start in the morning, first day with 1 push-up, next day with 2, every day 1 more, and in 1 month I'm at 30. So starting in the morning, knowing I have to do only 1, makes me to start. And you will see, once you have started, the continuation is not the problem. It is very easy. The critical point is to get to the first step to action. So whatever habit you want to establish, there is the 2-minute rule. Try to break it down that the first step takes only 2 minutes. Once you have started the first 2 minutes, it's easy to continue. It's just the first 2 minutes. So whatever habit you want to establish, break it down in a small piece to start with. And then you go from there. Automation and priming makes it also easier to start. So for example, having your gym bag always packed. So it's not a 5-minute routine. Oh, I want to go to the gym. Oh, I have to get the gym bag ready. No, when you go home at night, you just get your clothes to the washing, to the laundry and everything. And then you pre-pack your bag and put it in front of the bedroom. When you walk out, it's ready to go for the next day. And thirdly, the concept of repetition over perfection. Don't overthink to make it perfect the first time. The most important thing is you start, and then by iteration you get better and better, and quote unquote you get closer to perfection. Starting, executing, fine-tuning, repeating. Now let's address the 4th law, which addresses step 4 in the habit loop, satisfaction. Make good habits satisfying and poor habits unsatisfying. So let's focus on making good habits satisfying. The number 1 tool we can use, tracking our habits. As a best example, when you go on a diet, or you can take the example of addicted people, whether they are food addiction, drug addicted, alcohol addicted. All of those programs, they count the days of sobriety, the days of being clean, And you can do the same thing the day you kept your morning routine starting, getting out of bed and making push-ups. So how many days consecutively you did your morning push-ups? You never want to break a streak, so to speak. The second way of keeping and maintaining good habits is that you get accountability partners. For example, many people take in fitness a coach, literally a person being right next to them in the gym and doing basically the recording for them, whether they do the exercise right. But at the end of the day, the personal coach for most of the people is somebody who is just the time while they are in the gym, that they feel that they have to follow through and do the exercises and not slacking off. So accountability partners, friends, groups in the gym, or coaches are the typical examples. Or you take a personal coach following up with you on a regular basis, whether you are maintaining your good habits and so forth. And last but not least, when it comes to satisfaction, one aspect of it is you reward yourself after you've gone through. For example, you can say, if I follow through 1 week my physical exercise program, morning routine and 3 aerobic units and 3 weightlifting units for 1 week, then I get a massage at the end of the week, or I go to the jacuzzi, or I go to the sauna, whatever it is. But don't necessarily reward you with something which is counterproductive to the habit you want to install. That's about law number 4. At the end of it, you are what you consistently do or repeat. You are the sum of all your habits, which brings us back to the beginning. You fall back to the lowest level of your systems and habits. Define your future identity. Your identity is essentially the sum of all your habits. So make sure that the 95% of your autopilot, of your automated activities during the day, are as good and as productive as you can make them, because this will reflect ultimately on your identity. So we have it. We have the habit loop. Step 1, trigger. Step 2, motivation. Step 3, habits. Number 4, rewards. For each of those steps, we went through one habit and looked at it, how we can install new habits and eliminate bad ones. That's it for today. Like and subscribe, and see you soon for nugget number 23.